TV got it, it's rocking, we the main attraction. Your Celtics Source is here, right back in action. Jayson Tatum wearing a big fat zero. At the summer games, he was not Kerr's hero. He'll be bringing the thunder, the power, the grind, to show him who's supposed to put it all behind. Then it's 6-8, with a ring to his name, and money too by the end of the game. Jaylen Brown, beast mode, bringing the thunder. Defense tight, he'll steal your light and make you wonder. Double trouble on the court, dynamic duo in sync. With every play, they lay the foundation brick by brick. Prichard with the hustle, his jumper is pure. New contract, new honor, could be the cure. House of prison, even Luke's a star. No new faces in the mix, the goal's still the same. Better 19, all the team, we reclaim our name. Your Celtics Source, blended in the grind. Unified under one pride, Celtics state of mind. In the city of champions, we are setting the bar. Was it Celtics 2025? Ready for a repeat, green and white, ready to ignite. Just sit back in your seat. Tatum Brown leading the town, championship bound. In the garden, we ain't stopping to the top. One real foul.
The Boston Celtics got the dub in the Windy City. And that dunk from Jaylen Brown was filthy. Hello and welcome in to your Celtics Source, home of your 16-3, second place, and maybe soon first place, Boston Celtics. Let's start with the NBA Cup, because we were all expecting a big blowout win for the Celtics, as they needed the score differential to get through to group play. But the Celtics are actually not out, even though the Hawks absolutely obliterated the Cleveland Cavaliers just hours before. That's twice this week that the Cavs have lost to the Hawks. I think the Cavs are pretenders, to be honest, but that's for a different time. Let's talk about the Cup. If Orlando, it all comes down to Tuesday. If Orlando beats New York, and I think either the Bucks and the Pistons play each other. If either of them wins by 7 or more, and Orlando wins, I think the Celtics would advance as that wild card spot for the Eastern Conference. What can't happen is, I think New York cannot beat Orlando, because Orlando has a plus 60 score differential, and if New York wins, they would win that group, and Orlando would get the wild card because of their score differential. Right? The Celtics only have a plus 23 score differential, and I think the Bucks and Pistons each have, I think, around 15 or something like that plus score differential. So if either of them loses by more than 7, I think the Celtics would advance, as long as Orlando wins. And New York's been up and down. Right? They've had some big wins, like that one over Denver a couple of days ago, and then they almost lose to the Hornets yesterday in their NBA Cup game. But anyway, let's talk about the game itself, because it was the second game back for Kristaps Porzingis, and it was a much better performance for him. The defense was still the same. I mean, the defense, what a step up from before. Like, Al Horford and Kid, they were okay, but the Celtics just could not defend the paint. But with him back, we should be okay. But the offense is what I want to talk about. The Celtics finally got Kristaps going in that sort of high post, sort of elbow jumper spot that Porzingis is just filthy at. I think last year he had a 1.3 points per possession in that area, which is, I mean, just out far the best, I think, one of the best ever. Something like that. I don't know the exact stat. Anyway, 21 points, 8 rebounds, and an assist for him in this one. Just getting to the line, easy jumpers for him. I mean, that's what we need from him. Right? And then on the defensive end, just even if he's not getting the block on that stat sheet, we all know it's really, to the naked eye, Kristaps Porzingis is just a guy that his stats might not sort of add up on that defensive end, but we all know that a 6'4" guard is not going up on him. So the couple missed shots because of him, a couple forced turnovers where the players got downhill, and then they realized that there's a 6'7" unicorn standing there, and they try and kick it out, and just the Celtics are ready with the handsy defense to sort of pick off their passes. So excellent work by Porzingis. He had I think a moment where he looked a little hobbled, and that might just be us always nervous for him every time, and that's not going to go away. But I think, right, we're never going to, we're always going to pick up on those little details because he's just that injury prone, and he's just coming off that injury. But I think if we sort of move away from that, we'll be better. I mean, he's not going to be, I can tell you this right now, he's not going to be healthy for the whole season. There will be a couple games later in the season when he's out for a little bit with some sort of soreness or whatever. So just expect that. He's going to miss some games. As long as he's ready to go by playoffs, we'll be okay. Alright, it's time for Payton Prichard, because Payton Prichard is just balling at another level. 29 points, 7 rebounds, I think 3 offensive rebounds, 1 assist, a steal, coming off the bench. And I'll talk about his fourth quarter performance. 19 points in the fourth quarter alone. I think he made 4 straight threes or something like that. And they were all just ridiculous, broken play where Pritchard just bailed out the entire team. But I want to start with something else. And that is his role on the team, right? The Celtics don't have a spot for him to start right now. Maybe later, when Drew Holiday is gone, I think he'll retire, and Pritchard will probably take that spot. And the Celtics won't be quite as good with him on the defensive end, at least. The offense, though, I think will be pretty much the same. But anyway, there's some guys that, right, they give you 10 plus points a night in 10 or so minutes coming off the bench. And if they were to play for another team and get those minutes, 30 minutes a night, they'd be doing what Payton Prichard is doing. And then there's sort of some guys that, you found a nice spot for him, and he gets you 20 points a night. But then if he were on the another team, he wouldn't do as well. He sort of just fits into your style of play, and he wouldn't do as well on other teams. And then there's guys like Payton Prichard, who gets you 30 points a night, and quite frankly, he'd be a starter on every other team. The reason he's not started on the Celtics is because the Celtics have 7 starters, and maybe 8. I mean, 7 starters. Most teams, you're can we survive those bench minutes? For the Celtics, it's you can't wait for Payton Prichard to get on and change the whole flow of the game. I mean, we're not even talking about the energy, the hustle. The Celtics can't seem to get going in the first quarter these days. And Payton Prichard comes on, and just like that, sort of flip of a switch, the Payton Prichard momentum, and the Celtics are back on track. I mean, I don't know how his minutes are going to have to go down at some point. They just have to. But, like, right now, I would play him over Drew Holiday. Like, Drew Holiday isn't giving you much on the offensive end. Like, why not? And Payton Prichard actually played this entire fourth quarter because Derek White got injured, and I think he'll be okay. I think he didn't seem too bad from the players, but you never know. The players never have the exact truth. But Payton Prichard plays the fourth quarter, right? Because who else are you going to put in? Derek White goes down, Payton Prichard balling. Of course you're going to put him in. And he just closes the game for the Celtics. It was a sort of a close game. The neck and neck trading leads. And then Payton Prichard says, you know what? It's my turn. And he just goes nuclear with those 5 threes. And he sort of like just says, you know what? Everyone else stand still. I'll do all the work. And it was not like the Celtics offense was stagnant. It was just like Payton Prichard was like, you know what? I don't need you all. I'll do it all myself. And he could have used any of his players, but he didn't need to. So, I mean, I'm not mad at that. I mean, it worked out. I think there were a couple plays where he was like on the ground and he kept his dribble alive and just like got back up and just shot a 3. There are sometimes when he thinks he's better than he actually is, right? Like when he's going up against like a 7'4" center, he's not going to score that basket very easily, but he does it anyway. So there are a couple times when I wish he would make a couple better decisions, maybe get a little closer to the basket on some of those logo threes that he hits. But for the most part, I'm good. Payton Prichard, keep going. You know who else had a fantastic game? And yes, his stats do show it, but it was a very the stats were very quiet. Yes, I mean, I'm talking about Jayson Tatum. Yes, he had 35 points, 14 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal, a block. But it didn't seem like all his points were coming at one moment. They sort of seemed staggered throughout the course of the game, which is what you want to see. Sort of consistent throughout. He's not slowing down at any point. He often has not a great third quarter. Always seems like he'll score 14 points, something like 10 points in the first half or first quarter. He'll get a couple more in the second. And then he comes out sort of slow in that third quarter. And he plays the whole third quarter. But he can't seem to get going. And that's really when the Celtics need him. They need him in that third so they can get a lead going into the fourth. Because once you have a lead going in the fourth, it's pretty much good night for other teams. But when Tatum's so cold in the third, and the Celtics are sort of neck and neck with another team, the other team is feeling confident, and then it gets really hard for the Celtics to pull away. But I like how Tatum was playing today. He didn't have many of those sort of isolation moments where he just sidestep 3, misses them almost every time. I mean, they're not good shots, and he has the right to take a couple of those just by just because he's the star on the team and he does so much other things for the Celtics. But I wish he would get downhill, like the one that Jaylen Brown had. I mean, what a filthy dunk. Sort of around the screen, downhill, and he just rises and just throws it down on his head. I think Jaylen Brown got full head above the rim, I think, for that one. And, like, put him in the blender. the acceleration, the elevation, and the throw it down on his faceation. Because that guy's going to be seeing nightmares of Jaylen Brown for years to come. And his family is going to make him know about it too. Because, ooh, yeah, I'm still shivering from that one. Anyway, the last thing I wanted to talk about on this video is that Sam Hauser three that he had to end the game, right? I mean, it's the in-season tournament. The Celtics didn't get to that 16-point sort of differential that they needed to clinch the group, but they did get to 9 points when Joe Mazzulla decided to call a timeout with 1.4 seconds. Joe Mazzulla is insane. He's a psycho. I mean, 1.4 seconds, you have the lead, you have a 6-point lead, and Joe Mazzulla calls a timeout to run up a play so they can try and get one last basket. And it wasn't actually, they didn't even have a, maybe they had a play, but Tatum just inbounds to Sam Hauser, and he just spins and throws it up, and it luckily goes in. But the funny part about this is that Joe Mazzulla just trying to get every last point out of this team, using every minute, every second of the 48-minute game. I think if there are no sort of unwritten rules about scoring, Joe Mazzulla would run up the score on every team every night. That's just the way he is. And it's great to have a coach like that who wants to win at such a high level and wants to blow teams out. I love that from him. Okay, that's going to do it from this video. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure to tune in to my live stream tonight as my friend Daniel and I discuss the Boston Red Sox off-season plans and futures for the upcoming 2025 season. It seems like the Red Sox are finally ready to win and put some money in, which is great to see, because they could be a special team next year. Until next time, go Boston.
In the city of champions, we are setting the bar. Boston Celtics 2025, ready for a repeat. Green and white, ready to ignite. Just sit back and you see Tatum Brown leading the town, championship bound. In the garden, we ain't stopping to the top. We're profound.